Here's how to deduct tips in TurboTax. So you can deduct up to, I think, $25,000 in tips. TurboTax will actually tell us, I am not your professional tax advice. Look to a tax professional or the guided step-by-step process here in TurboTax. But to actually deduct tips, you're going to find the spot in your income when you're filling in your W-2. And so we go to wages and salary. And you might already have a W-2 in here, or maybe you're just starting with TurboTax. Or if you haven't yet, there's a link in the description down below. You can actually save 20% on your federal tax filing just by signing in through that link or by signing up through that link. Now we're going to be in here filling in our W-2. And if you already have one, you can go to Edit, and then you can kind of skip to the part where it's the actual W-2 boxes. Now you're going to put in all your information, or you're going to upload your document and it's going to be in here. But for tips, you're going to find an area down here. I believe it's box 7 or box 8. You're going to see your tips in there if they've been reported. And so if you have something in that box, like let's say $500 in this allocated tips box, then that's going to be deductible for you, and TurboTax will walk you through that. There's also another area in box 12, actually not box 12, I think it's box 14 down here, that could also be for tips, could also be for overtime. There might be something there as well. But if there's not, TurboTax will let you know or ask you if there are unreported tips. And so I'll show you where you can input that as well. So we continue on. It's probably going to say something about checking for other situations. In this case, you might have tips that aren't reported on your W-2. If you click this little question mark, it's going to open up information on the right-hand side. But if you select that, like let's say for instance, maybe your W-2 had some, but not all the tips, you can go to continue after you select that, and it's going to ask about those allocated tips. And so you kind of read about whether or not that box is correct. If it is, you would say yes. If it's not, you would say no, and you continue on. And if there's unreported tips that you have, then you have to fill in based on these boxes here. So depending on your tax situation, you would just put in what your tips were. If the total tips were $20 per month or more, maybe there was $100, in tips extra or whatnot. So just fill in appropriately here, continue on, and then you have a summary of your tips from that company. So in this case, for that W-2 from that company, here's a summary of my tips. I've got allocated tips right here, and I've got unreported tips down here. And you would see that actually deducted from my income, but added to my federal refund in the upper left-hand corner there. And so if you continue on, it'll ask you a few questions about those tips to answer, for your situation. And then, yeah, it was $25,000 because you're eligible or you're able to deduct up to $25,000 of your eligible tips. And you can click this little button here to see what you need to qualify. There's a lot of information over here regarding tips. You can actually search for questions and find articles and have it summarize things for you when you have questions around, deducting tips, essentially. But that's where you would deduct tips in TurboTax, and that's how you can deduct tips from your taxes this year. And you can get 20% off your federal filing, like I said, by clicking the link in the description. It's an affiliate link. I'm compensated by TurboTax. We have a partnership. It's really awesome, though, because I can provide you guys that 20% discount on your federal tax filing. So hopefully your taxes are going easy. We're coming down to the wire here, unless you're watching this in the future. But that's how you can deduct tips on TurboTax.